Good evening and welcome to the Georgetown School Committee meeting of Thursday, June 8th, 2017. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start off the meeting with our consent agenda. I'll make a motion to approve regular session minutes of May 25th, 2017, executive session minutes of May 23rd, 2017. Is that the right date? Acceptance of warrants number 49B 17 and number 48P 17.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, we don't have our student rep here today because she graduated.
Yeah, she did.
I just wanna briefly say that we
Great for
had
her.
a great, graduation on Saturday, and I appreciate all of you guys coming out. It was beautiful, and everybody that worked so hard to make it such a perfect day, like Mike Anderson and his crew.
That was huge.
It was beautiful, just the grounds actually leading up to the event was beautiful. Pearlie looks great. Rudy Cudmore, who did a phenomenal job every year, she does a phenomenal job
She is.
getting
She
everything together.
organizes so much that people just don't see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the weather was perfect. You know, I kept looking up and saying, oh, is it gonna rain, but it stayed off, until a couple of hours later.
Yeah.
But the day really couldn't have been better, and I wish all of our graduates of 2017 much success and good luck with whatever they plan to do for their future.
We're very proud of all of them.
Yep, it was great.
Congratulations to
To
the
you
two of
too,
you.
yes.
Thank you, thank you. One down, two more to go. Two down, one more to go.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. And I do also wanna say congratulations to the baseball team. I know you mentioned it in the orange notes too. They did very well this season. They were a group of kids that were so, great to watch. I mean, I've been watching some of those kids play since they were in like second grade together. But the coaches and the kids just seemed to work so well together, and it was nice to see, even though the weather at the game was awful, it was nice to see them when they called off the seniors, you know, off the field for the last time, and just how much support they got from, you know, their peers, the coaching staff. Our superintendent was there in the rain, watching it. It was a dreadful day, it really was,
It
but
really was one of the worst days.
it was. It wasn't baseball weather, that's for sure.
No.
But just,
I wore a winter coat that day.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was really, terrible, but those kids, you know, did a great job this season, so I'm very proud of them.
We are.
I wish they could have gone further, but, you know, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anyone here from the public that would like to talk about anything on the agenda? Okay, thank you. We have Mike Anderson here, that's gonna talk about his summer, maintenance projects, which seem like a lot.
Oh, yes, they do. Be busy.
Yeah,
We would want them to be bored.
they won't be.
It's not gonna happen.
Again, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if you want me to read through this project list, or if you just had questions, or,
But let me peruse it again, I don't think you need to go through
Maybe just
each
some
individual.
highlights.
so I'll say some major changes, so like, we talked about it briefly the last time I was here, I believe, about removing the curb to make the entrance to
Yeah.
the preschool parking lot, but that will be like a change everybody will notice, so.
How long is that gonna take?
Well, we're gonna work with the highway department, so it shouldn't take long to do, and we'll be able to divert traffic the other way, or for a few days, or whatever we need to do.
So when you say plant seed in the front area, right after that, under remove curb, where are you saying? Is that,
Well, we've already planted all the seed around the front of the loop, because it got all dug
Yeah,
up by the
yeah,
plow.
definitely
It's
looks
just-
much
It was
better.
just on my to-do list, so.
the front of Pearlie, I think too,
Yeah.
looks really nice,
Yeah.
like the.
Like,
rear
after the
front.
winter, it was like a dirt pile, I don't know if you noticed,
they
but.
were-
Yes, yeah, they took out some trees too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
meant to
exactly.
plow.
No, they did. So now this.
Usually it's mailboxes.
Yeah. Oh, that too.
This remove rocks from Center Island and relocate to retention pond at the Penbrook. Is this what we were talking about in the, school building?
Yeah,
committee
so
meeting?
where it's all in the grass, we're gonna take that out and put it over in the.
And try to
retention.
reduce the amount of.
Yeah, and
water
it'll help.
collects in that.
It'll help with cutting the grass over there too, because with all those rocks and everything in there, it takes a long time to manipulate around them all and stuff, so.
And are you gonna get any help from anyone else, like at the highway department? Or did they talk about contacting somebody who was going to like spray to get rid of the mosquitoes?
We've already done that,
Okay.
so, east
Northeast
mosquito
mosquito, yeah.
control, yeah, they're in Georgetown, and then they're on our IPM plan, so they come up and spray the fields and stuff like that.
That's good.
But it's safe pesticides.
Yeah, it's all safe for schools, it's approved by the Department of Ed and all that stuff. It's on, the school's plan for
Yeah.
pesticides.
Pest management plan.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes aren't too safe for anyone these days either.
No, no. Awful. So how difficult is it gonna be from transforming the school store into like a
I don't
little
think it's gonna
cafe?
be that hard,
It's a
actually.
good thing
Don't think
Peter's
so?
not here right now. Barbie, that's the second time
I
you've
brought
dug
it
out
up,
to
I know.
old wound today.
Yep.
She opened it up this morning and good thing Peter's not here. We have to.
We can bring it up again
We
when
have
we
to
get
there.
find, yeah, we want to we have to
What are you
finalize,
envisioning?
well, we have to finalize the plan on exactly what that's gonna look like, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking of the school store itself and how when I walk in and I'm like, oh, so I would think the makeup is gonna be the same, like to the
Similar
left.
to that,
Where
yeah.
the counter is,
I
that's
think
just,
I did a little sketch, like the whole wall would be kinda against the restroom, where the restroom is,
oh, yeah.
would be a counter, cause there's water and stuff there that we can tap into and put a sink and stuff like that. And then we talked about getting some high top round tables in the school area, with like stools and
Yeah.
stuff. And kids could sit there and look out, and I even thought about putting a small counter at the window, so you could actually sit at the window and look
Oh,
out.
that's a
Oh,
neat
like
idea, I
Dunkin'
like
Donuts.
Yeah,
that,
and
yeah,
look
yeah,
out,
I like
look
that.
out into the caf or whatever, so.
So the negotiation is in what happens to all the merchandise that's
Right.
now in the school store. And if you think about it,
80% off.
and if you think about it, that a lot of the merchandise isn't moving. It's online more than anything else. But so what we would wanna do would be to, his ears were burning.
What timing?
Are your ears burning, Peter? The question that was asked by Barbie is how difficult is it gonna be to transform the school store?
We're
Into
still
a
debating
coffee.
that, we don't know if that's gonna
I
happen.
just told you. So I was just saying, so the question.
It'll happen if my boss tells me it's gonna happen. I'm gonna fight it all
I'm
the
kinda
way.
here to tell you that.
But but we are talking, we're still talking about it. I think it's gonna be a win-win at the end. Peter got a little more interested when we talked about maybe sharing some of the responsibility with the kids that operate the store and helping us in the coffee shop and maybe getting a small cut of the,
Almost like a
of
job.
the profits. But we haven't finished the discussion, so it's, right now
So
we're
the kids
talking.
work at no money, the principal lets the kids work and he gets the money.
I get it, money. It goes to the business
It goes
department.
to, so, that we're hoping we can, have that be a more of a different purpose for that space, with still maintaining the integrity of the fact that, Peter has worked hard to have a school store and wants to, to have it be in a visible place, cause that's the other thing we talked about, maybe moving it.
Still sell a few of the, make it
Sure,
a school
that's what-
store
that's our
and,
plan.
yeah, so it
cafe.
could be a
That's our plan.
combination.
That's our.
And the workers could wear the apparel.
That might be
I'm
a
just
hard
combining
sell.
everything.
He's exhausted about this discussion, but we're still talking about it. We're gonna have a conversation again on, all the people that are involved in it are gonna come together on Tuesday, so we're all talking together about it.
But most of the apparel sold now is online, you were saying
That's
there's
what
not-
Liz said. Liz says she sells it mostly online. And again, we wouldn't wanna not have a presence there. We just might have to figure out a way to store some of it, just as the inventory is there. But that's, again, still in the discussion phase.
The store, the physical store is much more than a moneymaker. It's part of our curriculum. The marketing class is tied into it, the entrepreneur and management class is tied into it. So I'm very concerned about losing that when NEASC is coming in March.
You won't lose it. That's
But,
what.
but
that's what we're-
couldn't you combine it
Yes.
with the, cause that's a business as well.
Yes.
The cafe?
It's a business,
Yeah, absolutely.
and they would have to learn how to order items, baked goods or whatever, and how much coffee to order.
Yeah,
you know, it's-
inventory and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's still
I
an
just think,
inventory.
looking at all the other districts that have this in there, it just seems like, when you go, I'm sure you go to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, Peter, I just know all the kids are there in the morning, and we have to capitalize on that.
They make so
And
much
I-
money
They
from
do, they're
just
making
line
so
out
much
the door,
money, and
the high school kids.
Masco was saying how well they do, Danvers was saying that most of their money comes from their cafe, and, I just think it would be, if you can combine it, it would be perfect.
Mhm.
To still have some of the,
There's no other
school store.
space.
Well, that's the other discussion,
that's
you know, it's-
visible, I know.
well, I think that's the hard part, you know, like Peter and I talked about, you know, when you first come in, there's like that ticket booth. But
Yeah.
that's his general supply closet right now. But even when you go in there, it's not set up, you'd have to literally be able to take the wall and push into the cafeteria, which you could do, but it would involve creating a whole new wall and pushing that back out, so, you know, I think the first step would be to try to figure out how to work with the space we have. And then if that needed to be a grander, you know, project down the road, then we could maybe, you know, do that. But, you know, Peter's point is, you know, he wants to, when people come to the school, like for, you know, class nights and, you know, those kind of things, they often will go into the store and take a look at the merchandise. If you put it somewhere, you know, upstairs, you know, where people don't tend to go, then you might as well say that you don't have a school store, right? So that's why we're trying to figure out, you know, kind of a happy medium, how we can come up with something. And I'm optimistic we can.
I'm sure.
Did he say
says he is too.
I heard that.
Can I ask, can people order online through the school year or through the
Yes.
summer or?
I'm
Anytime.
not sure about the summer, definitely the school year.
Okay, definitely this, okay. Through June 21st or?
The apparel isn't the bulk of the sales from the school store though.
What is?
Candy.
What is? Oh, candy.
Skittles.
We can still sell that.
We can
Yeah,
sell it certainly
definitely,
after
snacks.
school and
That's
before
great with
school.
coffee.
Remember?
All right, let's
Kinda
get
went
back
off
to
a
this,
little
Mike.
bit.
Whole wheat donuts.
Whole wheat donuts.
Great.
The USDA would approve that, whole grain, you know.
A whole grain donuts,
We want them to eat it.
Just an idea.
we wanted
I'd
to sell.
Put it out there.
They'll be just tossing them at each other.
You do have a lot going on. Look at all the IT projects that are going on
Yeah.
too, which is exciting.
Yeah, so normally that wouldn't be on my list, but obviously this
Yeah,
year it is.
yeah. Now it is. Well, that's a really long list.
It is.
And so the 80 iPads for the 4th grade, that's the,
Yeah, they're actually already in.
huh?
They're already in, so Barry's already starting to send them out.
They came in already?
Yeah.
That PO just went out.
Eliminate open wireless network. When it says fix Pembroke wireless, what does that mean?
We have some wireless,
Areas.
that, have some bad connections, so we're gonna run some new wires to them.
Oh, it's wiring, Mike, it's not
Yeah.
a new AP?
Yeah,
Okay.
in the cafeteria is one of the spots. I don't know if you ever dropped anything in there.
If what, Mike?
In the cafeteria is one of the spots where we
Yeah.
keep losing connection.
Yeah, and that's where you get a lot of people, so, yeah.
But that's, is there a typo?
I'm gonna set up goggle driver.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
My editor must have missed that one.
Do you have an editor?
Suzanne.
I'm kidding.
Very good, Michael.
Looks like we're gonna have a very full summer.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
Not that they're ever.
Well, and then,
not
and,
busy.
you know,
Yeah.
They're always busy.
Mike's guys will be helping us,
And we do a lot
for
of
spaces too.
routine stuff like add new people's emails and voicemails, and we delete their old voicemails and stuff like that.
Keep
So
up with all the
yeah,
regular stuff
we'll
too.
do all the routine stuff we normally do. And, you know, we have special projects. We're gonna be helping reorganize the caf at the high school. We might make a sandwich area and stuff like that as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's
we're
gonna
talking
be
about that. So
interesting to see.
Yeah, we wanna do
that-
more of the stations
Yeah.
concept, and the cafe would have things like pretzels and
Yeah.
nachos and
Yeah,
things like
that's
that, that
awesome.
we'd like to offer there as well.
Good. I think it looks great. Anyone have any questions on it?
I'm gonna stay for my next question. Then, yeah.
Yeah, do you wanna
Oh,
move that up?
Yeah,
to-
sure.
Oh, do you
the,
want me to-
No, no,
new-
you,
All right.
That is for, let me get that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the, new position.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you gotta go to the new business, right?
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Mike, it makes sense to move it up.
Okay, so we talked about this, yesterday in budget,
Budget and
budget,
finance.
and was that just yesterday? It seems like.
Monday,
So,
is it?
yeah.
Monday.
Oh my goodness, is that far away? So we talked about this in budget and finance, this new position. Did you guys have a chance to take a look at it? So it's adding a skilled electrician, so, and that person would work, for Mike.
We'd be moving money from contracted services and some other areas, and, you know, in my opinion, it really makes sense because we could use an electrician a lot, and when we end up paying prevailing wage, it costs the district a lot of money to pay a company to come in and do stuff. So those costs, having similar costs to pay this person's salary, and then we could also use them to do other work throughout the district.
So we
All
basically
year
be
round.
saving money when it comes.
Yeah, well, we'd have more manpower and similar costs, yeah,
Yeah, eliminating that
yeah.
outsourcing
Yeah.
need. So as far as the town itself, would they also be able to utilize this individual?
Well, I mean, me being me, I've helped the town do stuff
Yes. Yeah.
before, so I'm sure we would help them if they need us to.
Yeah. Help them out with it. Okay, and this is gonna be posted for July first?
Yeah, well, yeah, to start July first, so we would post it.
Oh, yeah, so it's already, but that's when
I
the
think the
position
un-
would start?
I mean, don't hold me to this, but I think their contract says it has to be posted for 10 days or something
So-
like that.
Yes, I think it does.
Yeah.
Quite a job title, the position.
School department electrician? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, so,
Building grounds maintenance,
Oh.
licensed tradesman, electrician, it's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna do this, this, and this.
so what I find is a lot of school districts now, instead of hiring maintenance people, are hiring either licensed plumbers, electricians, or HVAC people.
Yeah, so they can
Because
utilize
they
them.
pay them a little more, but
To
they
do
make
more.
them do everything plus their
It's
trade.
like having
Okay,
a
'cause
specialty.
I'm looking at
Yeah,
this going.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is how they're naming them when they do it, so I just stole this off.
So it's
Other
really,
district.
it's really a maintenance person, right, Mike? But
Yeah.
With a specialty, in
license.
with a
With
license
license,
as an
license.
electrician.
Right.
Cause that's really how you're gonna use them, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Him or her.
Right, and if there's no, need for electrician, they just
Do
go
other
about
work,
with
yeah.
other things, right?
Yeah.
And the money situation seemed good on the first page, the, proposal that Mike had, there was no we didn't need to find any additional funding, obviously, he wouldn't have as much in his contracted service, he wouldn't need that
Yes,
as
we'd be
much
saving it.
having this.
That's where it would come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the, so when it says the money from the custodial subline, so how much is right now in the custodial subline? And you're just taking $7,000 out,
So between each building, there is like, a lump sum, and I didn't bring that with me, so I don't really know,
yeah,
but.
so it's not like
not
killing
the entire-
that-
it's not
the
Yeah,
entire
that
amount.
we're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh no, we gotta find
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So there's adequate amounts
Yes.
left in those
Right,
lines.
and he won't need to have, he'll have another body, so he can direct them to fill in
Well, he'll have a
if need to
half
be.
another body, right?
Yeah.
Because we're,
Yeah,
Right, but he'll
Right.
be able to use them,
Yep.
to direct them to fill in, where now he has to rely on a sub.
yep,
so a lot of times if maintenance people are a day guy out, I bring in a sub, where we won't have to.
do you have a sub list? Like, do you
Yeah.
have people
Yeah,
that
we
you
have
call,
like
just like a
3 or 4
substitute
people,
teacher?
Yeah.
Who are always on.
No, I think it's a good idea. It'll help you guys out, help us out money-wise.
Yeah, when we were talking about shared maintenance with the town, remember we were talking about adding an HVAC
Seat person.
person, similar to this, except we're using the electrician because we actually have used one of the town electricians that's retiring. So it makes sense in many ways to, rather than, as Mike said, be paying prevailing wage, to have our own. When we look at how much money we spend for that service,
Yeah,
this is a good value for us.
yeah, I think it's great. So, do you have to approve the new position?
I think so.
Yes, I don't know if did we put the motion in here?
But that's okay.
Oh, cause we didn't have this on that one.
I will make a motion to approve the new position that will be working so they'll be reporting to you.
Yep.
Right, so reporting to Mike Anderson. Position title is Building and Grounds Maintenance, Licensed Tradesman Electrician, as presented.
So
So-
moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, good luck.
Thank
Another
you.
body
Thank
to
you very
manage.
much. Yep,
you, Mike.
thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about the, proposed professional development plan for next school year.
One
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello there.
Nice to see you.
as well. So I shared the priorities, some of the rationale behind the priorities for next year, and a tentative calendar for all of our PD days based on the school calendar for the full day and half day PD days. So happy to answer any questions that you have, take any comments, concerns, critiques.
Maybe just tell them how you got to, how we got
Sure,
to
yeah.
this.
So I've been fortunate now to be here for a year and know kind of what we need as far as professional development. I was working off a lot of Dr. DeRoche's priorities and plans from last year, which were well in line with what the schools needed, and I'm happy to kind of pick up where we left off from this year. So I met with building principals as well as Ms. Harding at Pearlie, just to kind of talk about what they felt their priorities were for professional development. We were all really on the same page with those discussions. There were no real surprises. We know for the middle high school, we still have to gear up for NEASC, and with a big technology initiative for next year, we want to make sure teachers are supported. So that kind of, those questions answered itself, as well as with Pembroke, rolling out a new lofty science curriculum. We need to support our teachers in that regard, and we're launching a PBIS program next year. So those were kind of the two big ticket items. And in talking with Amanda Harding, there were a few things that came up for Pearlie that they had begun to work on as far as social emotional learning and a social skills curriculum. So they wanted to really make sure that they had time to flush that work out so that it is as robust as we need it to be. So everything kind of fell into place as I would have liked it to, and I think the calendar reflects ongoing work for all teachers and staff to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to make sure that we're on top of everything that we need to be so that our students can get the most out of their time here.
Well, it seems like there's a lot, big initiatives. And there's only limited time,
Right.
which makes it really hard.
Right.
Because I'm a little bit concerned about the STEM scopes, that there's not enough, but I don't know how you I don't know where you find time to do more,
Yeah.
is the thing.
The
Because everything else is important as well.
Yeah. So as far as STEM scopes, the science vertical team, our last meeting, we had a discussion about how I think that team is going to be really influential for next year, to build in some of those gaps that we may not be able to hit because of our limited professional development time. So I see myself working with that team really closely to really have those constant check-ins on what teachers need in terms of their planning, their understanding of the content, and so we can give them what we need and make sure that we're up to date.
And I mean, I think we have to also look at all the time we have. So, you know, you do have professional gathering time, you do have grade level time. You know, you can do training and that's kind of the training the teachers are going to need is related to their units, their stuff, as opposed to sort of general, you know, here's the philosophy of the program, here are sort of the elements, this is how you take the information and plan your units. It's really going to be like, okay, now I'm using it. Now the best people to help me with my questions are my team. So there'll be some of that I'm sure will occur, as well as what's not represented here.
That goes with, responsive classroom, the PBIS.
Yeah.
What is that acronym
Yeah,
for?
So positive
Positive
behavioral intervention and
interventions
supports.
Yes.
Seems like the buzz acronym.
Can you
the
tell us a
last
little
year
bit
or
more
so.
about
Social
how that's gonna roll out in the district and what that's intended to achieve?
Yeah, for sure. And Margaret,
Margaret,
please feel free to chime in as well. So there's been a PBIS team that has been in place for this year. They started last year, got the ball rolling.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
You wanna come up, Margaret, so you don't have to shout from the back? Come on up.
And really, the ideas of a PBIS school is really to set the culture of the common expectations, common language, common goals of the school and how we treat each other and ourselves. Ties very closely into the social emotional learning curriculum. And there's been a lot of work done already this year on the PD calendar for PBIS. Our last full day PD day was at Pembroke, solely revolving around PBIS, where we broke the staff into 5 different teams and had members of the PBIS team lead those workshops so that everyone can feel invested in making the plans for how that rollout is going to go next year. And they've made a lot of progress. And as I understand it, they're going to meet a few more times before school year's out, because we got a small grant to pay them for some of their time to prep and plan and get ready for this rollout. So yeah, there's still work to be done, but certainly the goal for next year is to roll out the PBIS model at Pembroke and take the half days, the majority of the half day PD days, to have those constant check-ins, checkups on how things are going, what may need to be tweaked or changed, and really do some checkpoints.
So in terms of the STEM scopes, are teachers already getting excited for it?
Yes,
And have
I think
been,
so,
like-
yeah. In fact, I was emailed the superintendent today. No, not, actually, I don't think it was you. So grade 4 had the animal animal
project, yeah.
presentations today across the 4th grade, which is, I just have to say, a phenomenal project. So every child chooses an animal, they do, research, and then they create some kind of model about the animal.
They are amazing.
I remember.
And
It's amazing though, the projects.
every
I saw
single
them.
animal,
Sheet
it
on.
was like, they were phenomenal. So, when I was in Ms. Collins' room after, she was saying that she's already starting to think about how to keep that
that
project
project
with
going.
the new science standards, because the standards are changing, and that animal part is only like one small, element of the standard. So then we started talking about that we can keep this in other forms. It doesn't have to be in science, because one of the topics that we are going to have to figure out, the new standards ask for an hour of science a day. So when we're looking at our day, we can't just keep adding these things, so we have to figure out how to do 3 things at once. And so we talked about how this animal project is one way. It can be done within ELA. They can still do research. They can still read at their level. It doesn't have to be science. They can still hit the science standards within an ELA block. So I know the 4th grade is very excited about that kind of work. So I think everyone is looking ahead. 5th grade also emailed me and said, what are we gonna do? They're already looking ahead to their units, because again, we'll have to change the way the 5th grade, how each teacher takes a unit and becomes the expert, and then children rotate around the unit. So teachers are looking ahead to what it will look like.
Yeah, and I know that teachers I just looked up, we have an estimated delivery date for all the kits and materials for June 12th, so next week. I think when those come in, I think people are gonna be really excited. And in our last vertical team meeting, teachers asked, well, what should we be doing with the materials that we had from previous years, from previous programs, and what do we do with them? And I thought that maybe some of them could be repurposed for the makerspace. And then people will have these fresh new kits. We already have the online licenses that are available to us. So I think people will be very excited when those kits get rolled into their classrooms by the end of the school year.
As well. Could you tell us a little bit about the Animal Project? Because I know it's evolved over the years. Are they incorporating technology with it?
They do, yes, yep.
And is it mostly in school, an in-school assignment?
Well, I would say the animal, they probably are making at home.
Right,
They're doing, they're using all kinds of things, so that's done at home. But the research and the writing and the technology is done in school. And then parents come, and then children do a presentation using the PowerPoint. And then some have written poems, some, then there's always research about the animal, factual research, but they take it in all kinds of different directions.
Well,
and-
and usually, from what I remember, it focuses on like the body coverings and the
Right,
camouflage.
herbivore,
It- it-
Right, the
well,
environment, yeah.
because those are some of the old standards
Right,
that
yeah.
the kids had to know.
So is it in each individual classroom, or do you do it out in the hallway like
It's-
the Great American Day was?
No, it is in
Oh.
every classroom because the children do stand up and present their
Nice.
whole projects. So they're using technology, it's public speaking, so it's within the classroom. They-
And most parents show up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's, yeah.
So that
Oh,
must be a
it-
busy
everyone
day at
has-
Pembroke.
This whole week's been celebration of growth, so like, I went to the sixth grade celebration today, and, it was packed with people.
Right.
But one of the things that was really exciting is that every single one of the kids had their iPad, sort of out on their desk, like as part of their display, demonstrating, things that they had done with the iPad in terms of their favorite activities that they had done. And actually, I heard so many, I was talking to the kids about how often do you use your iPad, and several parents said, they're on it all the time. I mean, like, there's so much stuff they've been using in the curriculum with it. So I was excited to hear that, because I'm hopeful for when they go to seventh grade, that they're gonna take that enthusiasm and those kind of skills that they automate. You should see the way they animate things, and the way they understand, like, those things that, PowerPoint presentations that are Prezi, and some of those things that just really are impressive. And these kids are in sixth grade.
Well, which I guess leads me back to the professional development plan, is that it's good to see that there are 4 specific PDs for the middle high school
Mm-hmm.
for technology.
Yeah.
Is,
And I see a lot of those days leveraging the in-house expertise that we have with new technology integrationists and teachers that will have been using those one-to-one iPads for a semester, then to really lead their colleagues and their peers on what they've learned, how to best use the new technology. So yeah, that's the biggest lever that we need to pull to make sure that we're making the biggest impact next year.
So I'm just gonna ask you, and I know this has come up before, maybe not with you, Colin, but in terms of professional development, some districts, and I believe quite a few districts, do it prior to the school year. The week prior to. So tell me a little bit about what you think the advantages are of doing it the way we do it.
Yeah, this came up when we were talking about the school calendar a couple months ago, and there are really costs and benefits to any type of PD calendar, especially, when you have a limited amount of days and time that you can use, something's got to give at some point. So I've been in schools and districts where they've really front-loaded the year with PD, and it's been really great to set the tone for the year and make sure that you can get a few big projects done and still give teachers enough time to get prepped for the first day of school. The give to that is that there may be less structured time over the course of the year to check up on those projects, because you gave up some of that time. So I'm hesitant to make a recommendation on whether or not we should change the balance of where PD is placed, especially only having been here a year and not with a PD calendar that has been of my own creation.
Right.
But I would want to give some thought in the coming years to maybe putting another day at the beginning of the school year, so we can really have a full day to have teachers be comfortable in their classrooms and set up, and some time to really set the tone or kick off the year with whatever big project or priority there may be, so everyone can start off on the right foot.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I was asking you, for a recommendation, but I was speaking to an Ipswich teacher over the weekend, and she said that she was surprised to hear, that we have PD during the year, and she said, we do all ours in the beginning, and why do you do it that way? And, I explained pretty much like you were just saying, that it's, some districts do it front end load, and then, how about you guys as teachers, what you?
I do it in the district that I'm in now, we do front and back, so we do.
So they don't take any days off during the year to do it?
We don't take any full days,
You do half days?
we do half days.
well, I think it's, in my experience, doing it throughout the year is beneficial, because you can take what you're learning back into the classroom, try it, then you come back again and you revisit, okay, we talked about doing this, and when I did this, this is what I saw. And, you know, so then you can get new strategies or new ideas. So the other thing is, a lot of times I've seen front loading or end loading on the PD when it's like one big initiative. We've got a lot, like
Of different stuff
of
going
different
on.
things. So, you know, like I could, well, actually, I not even like the technology, because you have to be doing it, and then
Then you know what you need.
then you can, you know, expand on that. So, in my experience, doing it throughout the year seems to have worked.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna get rid of I wouldn't wanna get rid of completely the time in the middle of the school year for professional development, because I like to think of this kind of like a PLC model, or professional learning community model, where, you know, you come together as a team and focus on one priority, let's say, you know, technology, for example, and, you know, we present on something, you have the chance to try it in your classroom, make it work for you, come back and report out on what that is, and then make your next steps from that. And I think that there is benefits, and that is useful to teachers to have some reoccurring touch points to make sure that, you know, we're talking the talk and walking the walk.
And I will say, especially this year, when guided reading was a focus for teachers, it was incredibly beneficial to have that training at the beginning and then the check-ins throughout the year with our literacy specialists. Because that is what happened. They would bring back, well, you know, here's what I found happened, you know, how can I better do that part? And then they would receive that instruction and go back in the classroom. So that wouldn't have happened had it been all up front.
Well, or even like the NEASC, which is a huge undertaking. Like, I find it like hard to just do that and then forget about it.
Well, you couldn't, right,
you
you
know,
couldn't, cause you have to do your committees, right?
You can't.
It never ends.
The mapping the foundations for handwriting program at Pearlie. Tell me a little bit about that, because I'm thinking, like, at that age, what are you actually teaching them?
Well, this is, it's awesome, because we know that, or ask any OT, once children form a bad habit, you're never gonna break it.
Grasping the pen and all that.
Grasping how letters are formed. When children start from the bottom up, it is, you know, pulling teeth. And sometimes you'll just never break that. So we want, because we have been using foundations, you know, in kindergarten, a couple of years ago, Amanda and I did talk about how to bring that back down into pre-K, because children do start holding pencils and crayons. You'll have other OTs that say, oh, they shouldn't even pick up a pencil till they're 7. Well, that's not realistic. That's just not gonna happen. So we wanna start
In
those.
today's day and age, they're so
Exactly,
much
it's
more
just, it's not
advanced.
going to. So it's to start those good habits as soon as possible. But Foundations doesn't have a pre-K program, so it's taking the language, they've taken the lined paper, because there's very specific lined paper that children use. So bringing that into the pre-K, so children are familiar with the words, how to form the letters, and then, so that when they get into kindergarten, hopefully we're not, you know, retraining.
Right, you're not breaking those bad habits, they're
Exactly.
already hopefully done at that
Right.
point. Okay, that's great, I was questioning that. I do remember the kids that would sign in.
Yeah,
That's-
oh, they do.
at-
They
at preschool.
absolutely-
Remember that, when our kids were in preschool? They would sign in the morning.
It's been a while.
It's been.
They would.
But they write their name, they are writing as, you know, pretty frequently through the day, they're writing free form writing, they're writing
Yeah.
their name, they're writing letters, so.
And they write in journals, some
they
of them.
write journals, so
Yeah,
there are many opportunities.
I was in their
That's great.
celebration of growth today, and yeah, they're looking at some of those portfolios, wow, it was pretty impressive. And the
Well,
kids
and
were
I
so
think
excited.
That's great.
Well, and I think they, you know, when they are doing journals, they take the lead of the child
Yes,
developmentally,
yes,
because
yes, of
some
course,
are
yes.
ready to write
are, yeah.
words,
Right.
and some are
not.
Right. And we wanna catch
So-
them while they are,
While they
you know,
are, yeah.
develop those good habits.
That's the civil rights training, the mandatory civil rights training. I know we talked in a meeting, recently about, that gentleman that we were going to have look over our
Oh, he's doing that.
He is.
He is doing
Oh,
that.
great.
We haven't gotten it back yet, but he's talking about the civil rights.
Mr.
protocol.
Coles.
What's his name?
Richard
Richard
Coles.
Coles. That's
I didn't
right.
know how to spell his name.
Peter, how do you spell his last?
C-O-L-E.
COLE.
Oh,
It's
C-O-L-E.
C-O-L-E, okay, I was thinking I did
K-O-A.
C-O-L-E-S, and then I did like the store Coles, cause I was
That's what I
trying to
was
Google him. Okay, so he's all set then for that?
He's all set.
Oh,
He
great,
hasn't given us the product, but he's all set
okay,
to do the work.
okay, that's good, great. Okay, it's a lot of stuff going on, but it's gonna be a great year, I think, with the
Gonna be a
whole
really good year.
integration of the technology and things like that. How are things going with the one-to-one? Are there any, like, things coming up from parents, you know, like questions or
No, we
concerns?
we kind of have our final numbers for the students that are going to be leasing through the district.
Can you tell us what those are, like, around?
I have the quote right here.
Oh, good.
Here's the code.
Quotes for 150, right?
No,
Was
91 something
91?
over 3 years.
Oh, no, you're
No,
talking,
no,
he's
the-
talking about how many
total
devices.
number.
Oh. Well,
It was 932 gigabytes.
he told us it's a better deal to order a few extra because they come in 10 packs.
Right, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so we were one short of the 32 gigabyte, we ordered 9 of those, and we were 3 short, we didn't order anything yet. We need 147 128s, so I think we should get 10 packs of 128s, and one 10 pack of
So
32s.
150 iPads total.
Okay, so the majority of the people did the 128?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was only
Just
nine.
Yeah.
definitely
And the,
better
and the
for them.
majority of people are paying in 1 or 2
Payments.
payments
Great.
rather than 36.
And then the others are bringing their own.
Yep.
Yep.
And the others are bringing them.
So how many would that be? Like, how many kids are we talking?
So about 150 students will get them from us. Probably another 130 will bring their own, and the remainder will either loan from the school or they'll join the program in another year.
Do we have a final percentage of what? the
I
iPad
can
was?
look it up. The numbers. It's been a very. My spreadsheet has been shifting on the daily because people that said that they were going to bring their own showed up to sign up and decided to lease from us, and people that told us they were going to lease from us, when I called them or emailed them, they said, you know what, we decided that we're going to get it on our own as it is. So I have some numbers, but I don't think they are.
Accurate.
This
Rock
past
solid
Monday
accurate.
was the final.
Yeah.
I mean,
was the
we were
final.
working off of about an 18% of the people
Yeah.
didn't opted out.
Okay.
But again, Colin said there were some shifts, so I suspect that's less,
Okay.
but I don't know how much less.
Yeah.
You know, it might be 15%, which for us was about 45 students, right in that ballpark. If you're operating around 300 is your total number, a little over 300.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
And I think it's like anything else. I think the first year, if you go to Pembroke and you see how the kids are using the iPads, if that's what happens at the middle high school, and parents see the value of it for them, then, you know, I think it might, you know, some of the concerns or worries that people had maybe initially might shift. But again, you know, we said we would have loaners available, and we will, and we're just talking about the logistics of how that's gonna work. You know, where are the extra computers housed? Do kids sign them out for a period, for a day? You know, how do we, so we're working on all those logistics.
And do they get to take them home?
Well, again, I think it depends on if there's a
If the
particular
project
project that
requires it.
requires it.
Then they would just
Yeah.
sign it out and,
Yeah,
Right.
you'd sign it out.
The general answer I think would be no if they're going to learn it from us, except with certain circumstances.
Sure. it's exciting,
It is.
exciting time. Well, that's good.
Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sure.
Colin. Thank you, Margaret. So do you wanna just go to approve that, Barbie?
Yes. I will make a motion to approve the proposed professional development plan for the 2017-2018 school year as presented by Mr. Colin McDonald.
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, subcommittee Oh, we have to revote the calendar, don't we?
Yes, because it's that.
Yeah, there was a, what was the problem with it?
Was it Veteran Day, Laura?
Yeah, Veterans Day will be on a Friday rather than a Monday.
Right.
Really?
I know, that is
So
interesting.
strange.
But we
So April
looked it
30th.
up in term, you know how there's sites that just recommend this is when, so I think we actually had a parent who asked us and said, you know, our understanding is that it falls on this particular day, and frankly, we didn't think of that, we were just trying to follow the kind of, because this is in
So
pattern.
the other
we've been-
calendar showed Monday?
Yes.
Yes, so we're gonna do Friday instead.
There it is. Yeah, it's just a shift, but we
Right,
wanna
Monday
get it
to
right.
Friday, yes.
If parents are off, you know, for that holiday, we wanna make sure we get it on the right day.
Right. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the revised and hopefully the final revision for the 2017-2018 school calendar dated, June 8th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
It's taken care of.
Okay, your financial report, it seems like the subcommittee meetings are starting to ramp up. Right? Yep, so,
Yeah, certainly.
yep, governance says we've met a couple of times, budget and finance, we've met once, negotiations met today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
We have, yeah, we
Pam
have another
did it
one
all by
scheduled.
herself.
Yep.
How'd
Yeah.
you do?
Good. Discuss.
That's good.
various
Yeah.
Proposals.
Oh, and that's right, safety was supposed to be
Right.
today,
Right.
and I had it on my calendar, but it would have been you.
It
that
would have
was
been
going.
me, yes, and I
Right.
did go, but it wasn't.
Oh, you
it
didn't
got
know that it
canceled.
got canceled?
Right.
Because I was still on the email chain.
Right,
That's
right.
why.
That's
Oh,
fine.
sorry
That's
about
fine.
that.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah, cause I would've gone too, and I forget that I'm not on there. Just a quick update for the Start School Later Committee, the surveys, went out to staff, as well as students, over at Pembroke,
Yes.
and then for,
Oh, I'm sorry, students are tomorrow, staff was yesterday.
okay,
And Peter, Friday.
Tomorrow,
so everything will be done on Friday?
Yes.
tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, and then, the survey for the community hopefully will be going out tomorrow. Michael's working on that, so he has, some other things going on right now, but hopefully that is when it will go out, and that will go out via email.
Right, individual emails, and then it will be open for a week.
Right,
So
till
it's
next
closing
Thursday.
to next.
Friday
next-
to-
Friday to
Friday to
It'd be Friday to
Thursday.
Thursday, so.
Because the Start School Later Committee is meeting the following Friday on June 19th, so we were hoping to be able to get the information in order to discuss it that evening, so that's why, but I think Friday to Thursday should give,
And I'll write a
ample
blog,
opportunity.
I'll write a blog about it as well.
and it's much shorter than the
Yeah,
original.
it's short, it's very,
and
it
it will
shouldn't
not
take people very much time at
yeah,
all.
it won't take people long for that.
Yeah, there should be any,
Right,
I don't, if it takes 5 minutes, I'll be surprised. It's short.
yeah, it
It's
is short. Yep, right and to the point. Okay, we have another, food services donation, it's very generous, another, check for $102. Again, it's not a school committee meeting if we don't have a donation to approve. The community is so, generous, with everything, not just the food services, but, it's a local group of, donors collected $102, and that will be used to offset the, outstanding balances. So I will make a motion to accept that $102 donation, which will be used to help families in arrears in the food service department.
So moved. Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And we have to discuss, summer meeting schedule for the school committee for this, July and August. Calendar. So the last school committee meeting,
The 22nd, we're meeting on the 22nd.
and the last day of school is
21st.
the 21st. Why don't we have that on here?
So Suzanne, usually we try to time the July meeting around when the end of the year closing stuff is gonna be ready. So do we know,
Well, the school year has to be closed by the 15th, so 14th, because that's a Friday.
of July?
I won't be here on the 14th.
No, no, that's a
I'm
Friday.
just saying the deadline
Oh,
is
that's
the
a
15th.
Friday.
Okay.
So, is
I
our-
won't be here in July until the week of the 24th.
Oh, she's going to Italy.
yeah, so, what about the 27th?
The 27th. I cannot do that, the 27th. What about the
I guess it
26th?
doesn't have
Can
to
we-
be a
can we do it-
Thursday.
Can we do the 26th?
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
just
have
don't
to be a
know.
Thursday. It
I
can be
just
any
don't know
day.
how busy this room is in this, I
Right,
don't.
Suzanne keeps asking us to move it from Thursday.
please.
Perfect.
Let's move it to a Tuesday.
Does the Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, the 25th or 26th work?
Sure.
Tuesday might be better.
I'm not around the 25th.
Oh,
Are
we
you
need
around
you.
the 26th?
I am around the 26th.
Okay, that's fine.
Cheryl?
26th is good.
All right, let's look at. All right, wait a minute here. Okay, July 26th. And then in August, we usually do it right before school opens. So,
When's the first day of school? That calendar, the 29th?
29th.
so what about the 24th? It's 24th.
I have that week open.
Probably.
Really? A Thursday?
Well,
We do it the 25th.
The public is used to it, that's the thing.
does the 24th work?
Let's just schedule.
80% chance.
Okay. It's far enough away that if you can't, we can go back to the drawing board. Okay, so we're going to do, July 26th
Which is a Wednesday.
and then August 24th. Okay, so I will make a motion to set the summer school committee meetings for July 26th, 2017 and August 24th, 2017.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
So was that,
24th and the 26th.
No, July 26th.
And, right.
And August
and
24th.
okay.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
I know, let's not wish it away.
It's like I don't wanna wish the summer away.
Mm.
Think quality, not
Oh
quantity.
Started yet.
It goes so fast.
Scott says, it's gonna be so short, it's like, just enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy it while it's here, yep.
What there is.
I know, but you can't do anything about it, so you enjoy this thing.
Right, right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, I don't have anything else on.
No, I just think
oh,
we wanted to just
oh,
quickly
yes.
acknowledge that
Let me just get my,
the donation
yes.
that was gonna.
How is the other donations coming from the Makerspace on that Sign Up Genius?
Very good.
Awesome.
Liz's, Liz's room is like Makerspace Central. But,
That's where she's storing it all
well,
right now?
and Mary Ann's getting a lot of donations too, which is great. Daryl Barta today brought me a bunch of things that, you know, she had seen on the list, and, a meeting with Phil Trapani and Boris DeFanken next Friday to see if maybe they can help us with some technology,
Oh, that'd be great.
you know, devices. The light department is what Barbie's gonna talk about now, is donating some circuitry materials. We're approaching some of the other local businesses that have, you know, materials. You know, parents have been extremely generous. In GEF, PTA, you know, all of those groups have made donations as well. So we're purchasing, you know, a number of like Makeys and Osmos and Spheros and the other robotic
another
kind of
language.
things that are,
It is,
that
it's-
are
yeah.
really gonna be cool. And then you saw in this that Terry Pilardi is donating 2 sewing machines and then
Machines.
maybe has 2 more in the summer.
That's great.
So that's huge and we're grateful for that. So we just have to keep asking, we're also looking for, we're talking to Georgetown Building Supply about maybe, some hand tools. And if anyone in the public has any small table saws or table machines, you know, we'd be interested in talking to you about those kind of things, particularly for the middle high school makerspace. So, you know, we'll just keep on, as we have things, we'll make the adjustments. But, yeah, people have been extremely generous, and we are gonna
Excited
make a
for it.
trip to the, place in Peabody where you can fill up, a whole, back of a truck. We bought a little membership, it wasn't very much money, $200 maybe, and you can literally a couple times a year go in with a pickup truck, and then whatever they have available, you can pick the things you want and just fill your truck. So we don't wanna go there till we know what we need. Cause half of this first we have to figure out where to store the things we're not gonna immediately put out. But also, you know, we'll have a better sense once we put things in bins and label them exactly where we need and want more, then we can go out and ask people for specific donations.
And where does all that stuff come from? This membership that you got?
I think we had some money from.
No, but do
oh,
people, like, the items that we can go and take,
People
is
must
it,
donate them.
so people
I
donate it?
think so,
it's like
I think so.
electronic,
Yeah,
like,
it's
Right, and
probably
then you
like a
can just,
recycling type.
right, and
That's
so
interesting.
what, you know, what we
and
write.
then they make money off of,
Yeah, they make
that.
money off of these,
Yeah.
right. We got the idea initially from Nora Cannon, cause Nora, as an art teacher, she has a subscription, so you can get like a individual subscription or a group subscription. And whatever membership level you have, you can go a number of times. I don't envision us having to go too many times. But I think it's like anything else, it's just gonna evolve, right? It's just gonna evolve, and then we have to find out what the kids are interested in, so then we can make sure that we can provide the kind of information, kind of materials that they would need. But I was just thinking, like, even the animal projects that they did, I mean, a lot of those kind of things could be done, you know,
In the
in a
maker spaces,
makerspace,
right.
or, you know, any of the, like, little prototypes of things like, that they wanna make, they'd just be able to go into the makerspace and do it. So there's a lot of, first we're setting them up, and there's a lot of logistics about, like, how they staff to, you know, how often can kids be there? Can kids go there instead of going out to recess? Can they, you know, how is that all gonna work? So, you know, we just have to work all those things out, but I'm optimistic that we will. I think the best thing is just getting the spaces, you know, and then kind of if you build it, they will come, right?
yeah, I
Right,
believe
so
that.
if you sign up to bring something from that list.
Yeah.
You can deliver it to.
To the school.
To middle high school or Pembroke?
Yep, and we will actually pick it up for you if that's, you know, something that you need us to do,
That's neat.
you know.
What, you send Mike out to get, pick it
Mike
up?
or Liz will do it, I'll do it, you know, whoever, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, well, cause I signed up for a bunch of stuff and I
Oh,
have a
good.
bag, but I also have the computer towers, which
Oh, wonderful, yeah.
I know, I mean, it was one of the things on the
Yep,
list.
exactly, the computer towers are great, because for the take-apart room, or the take-apart spaces, you know, it's amazing. We saw it with Heidi Beegan's, this program that she did the first summer. That was the most popular area of the summer program, was that take-apart space.
Right,
You
that's,
know?
that's great.
Yeah, I
And-
think it's gonna be good.
The, so Dave Schofield over at Georgetown Light, so you reached out to him?
We did, we sent him a letter with a list of things that, you know, anything you can do, Dave, we'd really appreciate it, but we think these are some things that the light department might, you know, kind of part of your mission. And he came back right away and said, we'll do everything on that list.
Yeah, which is amazing,
That's great.
$2,700 worth of things on the list, which,
Yeah.
that is great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's either gonna donate,
Awesome.
we're trying to work it out with him, he's either gonna donate a check, right, which when we get that, we'll bring it back for you to, you know, just officially approve it. Or we're gonna work something out, where we'll accept the, how did we figure? We'd either accept the donation of the
Or
check,
the supplies and
or
materials.
Or we'll just send the invoices
we'll send the
to him.
invoice to him, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Either way.
That's, so it is like a big community, project, you know, but the
It is.
makerspace, I know the school committee, the magazine that I always get, it highlights the makerspace
Oh, really?
this time, and, it's the really cool things that the schools are doing across the country.
So
It's
kids
amazing.
just go in whenever they have the free time.
Well,
and-
that's what I think our after-school programs can use it, maybe on a rotating basis, kids can choose to spend recess in it if they want. You know, at the middle high school, we'd like to do it before, you know, how there were always, kids are coming early.
Right.
And then, you know, dropping off and playing in the gym, some kids will still wanna do that, but some kids might wanna go to the makerspace. But we can use, the STEM club can use it. What we're really hoping is with the integration specialists, they'll be able to actually take, you know, work with teachers to take groups of kids in to actually enhance the curriculum with it as well. So, you know, it'd certainly be a place where kids could go and sort of work on their own, but they also could be working on something curriculum related.
And are we doing something at the community center, the senior center?
Well,
I know that was a talk.
yeah,
that
I
we
mean, I mentioned it at the department head meeting the other day, that I think it would be really lovely if these things take off in the schools, if the town wanted to create a town-wide makerspace, because I really feel like, you know, seniors, lots of people would use it, and the more adults I talk to about this, the more they say, oh yeah, you know, I had a space similar to that I used to go to when I was a young adult. Phil was telling a story about how when he was in the service, there was an opportunity to work in a space like that, and he said people were always going in it, you know, because it's just exercise your brain a little bit, right? There are people who go into maker spaces in communities that launch whole businesses out of it. You know, so there's a lot that can happen, but I can't bite that off yet. But I'm definitely, you know, talking it up to anybody.
Did they show interest when you
Yeah,
mentioned?
I mean, I think there was interest in it. You know, it's just, you know, it's like anything else, right? I've been talking about maker spaces for a number of years, but all the little stars had to line up. And once you put all those things in place, then you can make it happen. Good ideas are good ideas until they can happen, but, you know, you don't wanna give up on a good idea because you can't make it work in the time you wanna make it work. You just have to give it time, get the right people on board, get people excited about it. And a lot of things have changed in the last 3 years with our STEM programming that's allowed us to do this.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's like any project. There's a lot of facets to it, but I think in the end, it's gonna be really worth it for the kids in this district and the teachers.
So with this particular donation, we'll wait until we figure out the actual logistics on how we're gonna get the items or the monetary.
But I really wanna
Yeah.
thank Dave and the light department for,
Well, they've always
They've always been
continued support
supporting,
of
yeah.
everything. I mean, I'm still thankful for them with that,
sign.
the lighting at Pembroke, because every time I go by it, which isn't often, but it looks great,
really
the
good.
lighting
It
behind it.
does.
So,
It's very classy
I wanna
looking.
thank Rob Hoover too for,
Yes.
you know, continuing, you know, not letting that die out,
No, he didn't.
and for the light department to go ahead and do what needed to be done, because it looks great.
Yes,
the
it
light.
does.
Okay,
And the light department is actually gonna be involved in putting the light poles and the lights back up at Pembroke. So they're working on that project with us as well.
so the last I knew about that, we were having some questions about funding for
Right, but
that.
that's all been resolved.
Good, that's great, so when will that start to
Well,
happen?
I think they're still waiting to have an actual start date, but I think it's definitely in the works.
Oh, good. So I love that, then we'll have the fields not just for during the day,
No,
they'll
it'll be
be
nice.
able to be utilized
be
at
nice.
night too, and with Northeast Mosquito helping
Right, that will help.
clear it out, it won't be as bad.
And you know, I know one of the
That's good.
complaints we've been sort of having about the Pembroke fields is that they're not draining as well as people had sort of hoped they would. But I talked to Mike about that, the other day, and we talked about, you know, aerating, making sure we aerate it often enough, because that, when you aerate it, it breaks
it
up
comes
that, whatever's hard.
So with the
So
water
it
can seep in.
should, you know, it should help us, you know, but, you know, it was built, you know, with the appropriate, you know, subsurface and all of those kind of things, but it's not really the field, the grass, it's the clay. So one of the things that we talked about is, we used to own stock in Turfus, when we had the football field, and, you know, we couldn't ever keep it clean. Well, so I think what we're planning to do, and GAA is working with us on this, is to put mix a balance of Turfus and in with the clay, so that it will have a different consistency.
Yeah, the clay is like quicksand.
The clay is
right
like,
now.
yes,
Oh, really?
yes,
I was
yes.
there on Wednesday and just walking across.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I was going down.
But if we
Really?
put,
That was at
if-
Pembroke?
Oh, so it's still like that, huh?
yeah, but if we put the turfus in it and just make sure that'll absorb.
Well,
Yeah,
and it-
pretty
We
wet
definitely.
May.
right, well,
too.
it,
It's
it
been
was
awful.
on Wednesday, which was the day after
Yeah,
all the rain
monsoon,
on
yeah.
Tuesday.
There has been a lot of rain.
Yeah.
But I think that'll
Well,
help,
that's good.
yeah,
Hopefully that will help it.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that
cause the fields are beautiful there.
Yeah, they are beautiful.
nice.
I love seeing everybody use them and, well, that's good.
And I just wanted to give a little plug to the PTA, because they're starting auction discussions.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
And
exciting.
they have some fantastic ideas, moving forward, so,
Yeah.
Do they have a venue yet?
Yes.
they do have a venue.
Where is it gonna, can you say it?
Uh,
Or is it
I don't know if it's a secret. I think they're putting a save the date, I think I
Well,
approved a save the
They,
date
did
thing.
did they talk to you about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you
What's
can.
the save the date? Is it, in November still?
Yep, November 18th at DeBurrows in Haverhill.
Oh, beautiful. I love DeBarros.
Me too.
Different.
And,
Wedding reception.
Oh, really? Yeah, DeBarros is nice. And it's close.
yes, it's close.
Yeah, it's not far.
So, but the, a lot of energy, a lot of great ideas.
Oh, and it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
In past, it's been Fridays, right?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. I know they were talking about getting a save the date out before the
Yeah.
end of the school
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
so that, and the idea is a Monopoly theme,
Cute.
so
Mhm.
working on that.
Yeah, Eric, Jill stepped back, and deserves a ton of credit, because if you remember, the PTA was in a situation where it almost didn't exist.
She did a
And Jill
great
stepped up and
job.
did a great
she's
job, and
done
then
a
she just surrounded a
phenomenal
great
job.
team around her.
Absolutely.
But, you know, she and Erin have sort of been sharing the responsibilities for a year, you know, as a way to sort of transition Erin. Erin has a ton of energy and very positive approach and attitude, so I feel like
does.
she's a great choice for that, and, so I know she emailed me and told me what their plans were, so.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
So Cheryl's gonna be the school committee liaison to the PTA, so
Great.
so Cheryl has offered to,
Which, do we have to vote on that?
probably, let's do that. So Cheryl, what her responsibilities will be under that subject matter will be you're gonna go to the PTA meetings, and then you'll come back and just
Yeah.
provide us with an update, and,
Yep.
which is great. That's good, thank you for
Yeah,
doing that.
that's-
Do they have a whole new executive board too, or is it just a new president?
No, they pretty much have a whole new board and a lot of new directors, a lot of
Yeah. Good.
not of new faces.
Well, there's a lot from the Pearly parents group that are moving up to
yeah.
help. And, I'm gonna help with the spelling bee this year,
Oh,
great.
so.
Can I be a judge this year?
Absolutely.
You can use your
I'd be
influence.
happy to volunteer as
I'll
well.
do
Absolutely.
it again.
Yeah.
That was always fun. Well, that's great. That's a good event to take, and, rather than go right in with the auction. Yeah.
They are looking,
not
I
like
think they
heading
are
up,
looking for
because
an
that's-
Oh,
auction
yeah, no,
chair.
no, no,
I
no.
think
Oh,
they
they
might
don't have an
I think they
auction
might
chair?
still be looking for an auction chair. I think that was this, I think that might have been one of the things Aaron asked me.
I thought they were
Yeah,
looking
that's
for like
huge.
a planner.
Yeah, yeah, that's something else. But there's a lot of people who wanna help,
Yeah.
but they don't wanna take the
Run
lead
it on,
role.
Right.
That's how it's always been,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And sometimes people
And
have,
then they do-
said they'll do it if they can do it with someone else, you know, so
Right.
co-chairs have been something that I think has been helpful in the past, because it is an awesome responsibility to take it
Yeah,
all on, you
it
know,
is.
especially if you've never done it before.
Right.
Do you know if they're gonna do the projects again? Like at Pembroke, when they would have, remember how the classes at Pearlie and Pembroke would make,
They do
the
that.
projects, and then they would auction them off, remember that?
Right.
They did that
Remember that?
last year.
Yeah,
They
they
And
did.
and they did the baskets.
Yeah,
right,
so
the
they
grade
still
level
had like a
baskets.
theme,
Yeah.
on each grade had a
So
theme.
I think, yeah, because the discussion was about how so-and-so bought the $350 bowl that their kid has a fingerprint on or something
Yeah,
like that, so.
Yeah,
they're still-
one year.
those are really where the money is.
One year
is
when it
those-
was at the Ipswich
parent
Country Club,
project.
there was a gentleman who paid $850 for like a kindergarten spatter painting
Right.
that was framed. It was amazing. I mean, the generosity, you know, people, those kid projects go for a lot of money.
And it was fun watching the two dads.
Oh, yeah,
going
back and forth,
You
yeah,
know, like, the one wanted to outdo it, yeah,
Yeah.
that is where all the money,
yeah.
comes
And
in
then
from.
they realize
because-
what they did.
Yeah, exactly, the next morning, they're like, I really bought that for how much?
Well, it's a conversation piece, you could look at it that way forever, right?
Yeah, but that's great.
So
Well, that's
November
good.
18th.
18th, yeah.
That's good, Cheryl, thanks for doing that.
Auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so I'll make a motion to appoint Cheryl Alessandro as the school committee liaison to the PTA.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? You sure you wanna do it?
Absolutely.
All in favor?
I'm already.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
that's good, you'll do great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Couldn't have been a better person.
I said that I was happy to take a supporting actress role.
Yeah.
in any of the projects, just,
Well,
you
that's
know.
great.
Yeah, Get
And
your
I'd
feet
like to
wet.
lead things too, but I've got a lot going on,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, no, that's good, it's gonna be a very
You'll get
profitable
your
year, I'm
chance.
sure. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do wanna say the GEF, I saw the GEF sent out a save the date too for their, the
Links for
links for learning.
September or something.
Usually it is in September, it's usually toward the end of the golf season. I don't have the date though.
Laura, can you look that up? Georgetown Education, it's probably on Facebook,
Oh, yeah, it's probably at the GEF site. for
because
sure.
that's always a really nice event to take part in, as long as it's a nice day. And I think they have
It
been
always
pretty
has
lucky.
been.
I think they have been pretty
Very
lucky.
lucky.
They changed it within the last couple of years to the fall.
They
We-
did.
Used
Yeah.
to be in the spring or summer?
It was June, I
September
believe.
18th.
June or July,
September
September
what?
18th.
18.
18th
September
and another
18th.
18th.
We did it in May a few years.
So November 18th and
No,
September
yep,
18th.
September 18th, that's great. And I'm sure they're looking for volunteers for that too, so if anybody is
Mhm.
interested in helping out the GEF, they have a great Facebook page and they also have, Twitter, I see them using all that, so that's great, and that's Kip Durney,
Kip
right,
Durney,
that's the
yep.
head of that. Okay, alright, I think that's the end of business that we have, unless anybody wants to add anything, no? Okay, there is no reason to have a executive session this evening, so I will make a motion to adjourn the school committee meeting, at 8:19 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you, good night.
This is a first.
You know what, we probably should have